This is Brad with chronicallyhuman.co, and this podcast episode is brought to you by libertyforyou.com. That's LIBERTEE, the number 4, the letter U.com. We sell premium t-shirts and other items that have ideas worth sharing, and you can become an idea ambassador for the things that you believe in by going to libertyforyou.com. This is one of our shirts, Bitcoin, not banks. We also have new items that say "Don't GMO me, bro" on those. We have cups and also shirts with that. Today on this episode, we're going to talk about Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. In the book, he uses personal stories, anecdotes, current events, and archetypal religious stories to illustrate why you need to have more order in your life to guard against chaos and the suffering that is inherent in the human condition. And here at chronicallyhuman.co, we recognize that life is suffering. And what I'm committed to doing is finding out ways to suffer less. Just a quick history of who I am, where I've been. I had been chronically ill for 30 years. I'm finally getting over some of those issues with this last surgery I've had, and also with using Kratom. I don't know if you've seen my Kratom review of organic ice or Urban Ice Organics Kratom. I highly recommend you watch that because that's the brand I do recommend. But I've had chaos in my life due to my body for decades. And so instituting rules in order to increase the order in my life has been very important. And so I'm really glad that Jordan wrote this book and that he has spent his lifetime studying ideas, studying humanity, studying mankind, what works and what doesn't. And like he says in one of the rules, ideas matter. And I believe that 12 Rules for Life has tons of valuable ideas that truly matter and that can help people to eliminate or to reduce the chaos in their life and to have more order. And like he says, when you do that, you set your stage for a better play. And that's what I've been doing. And I'm just going to read the list real quick here. And then I'm going to go over a few of those rules and how I've implemented in my life and the results I've had. So the 12 rules for life. The rule 1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Treat yourself, this is rule number 2, treat yourself like somebody you are responsible for helping. Rule 3, make friends with people who want the best for you. Rule 4, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Rule 5, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Rule 6, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Rule 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Rule 8, tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Rule 9, assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Rule 10, be precise in your speech. Rule 11, do not bother children while they are skateboarding. Rule 12, pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. So these rules have, some of them are funny titles and some of them are dead serious and really convey what he believes is a way to introduce more order into your life. And for me, the number 1 rule that I've implemented recently is to stand up straight. When you stand up straight with your shoulders back and you face the world, you're telling yourself, your brain, and your body that you are a confident individual and that you can handle what life has to throw at you. He uses the example of a lobster and the dominance hierarchy that all animals live within. And when an animal lives in a dominance hierarchy, its posture sends a message to the other people or the other animals around them about their status within that dominance hierarchy. Those who are higher up on that dominance hierarchy have their shoulders back if they're people, and if they're lobsters, they display certain behaviors. And this sends a message to those around you that you are higher up and not lower down on the dominance hierarchy. And so what he relates that to is that when you face the world, when you put your shoulders back, when you say, yes, I can, that you're confident, optimistic about the future, that it sends actually the same kind of signals in your own brain that you're not low man on the totem pole, that you are a capable, confident person who can handle life, who can take steps to make your life better and those around you as well. And the way I like to look at it is that when you have your shoulders back, you can carry the load. You can carry the load on your shoulders. And he talks about in every chapter, and the theme is really chaos and order are the two states in the world, or the two forces of energy, right? And so when you say, yes, I can create order in my life, I can handle the chaos in the world. And one of the things that he talks about in one of his lectures, I highly recommend you watch his lectures online, as well as his several appearances on the Joe Rogan podcast, is that he talked about in one of his lectures to his students that pick up your goddamn cross and carry it up the hill. And I think that has a lot to do with this rule number one: stand up straight with your shoulders back. Because when you're hunched over and you're looking down all the time, that sends a message to the world that you're not up looking, you're not active, you're not aware, you're not capable. And so I've been implementing this more and more in my life, and I feel like it has made a difference, and that I can see more opportunities. I feel more confident, and I'm out there doing a lot more stuff than I was before. So the rule number one has been really important for me. The next rule that I've really have found very helpful is compare yourself with who you were yesterday and not who someone else is today. That's very powerful. With my life, that I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, of course. And so I was comparing myself a lot of times to who others were around me and where they were at in life. And I always felt like for all my life, I've fallen short of that I've not been financially where I wanted to be, living where I wanted to be, and doing the things that I thought I should be doing. I would discount that I had spent the last 30 years battling, some really serious health issues. And when I would recover from a surgery or some other health event, it would be a 6-month recovery process in between. And when I started to feel better, I would find my life was in total chaos, right? And so I felt really anxious and discouraged each time I'd emerge out from this health storm to find my life in disarray and nowhere close to where I wanted to be in my life. But now I focus on where I'm at and am I better than I was yesterday? What steps can I take today to become better than I was yesterday? Instead of trying to compare myself to others out there. And this has been hugely beneficial. I've been doing a lot more and focused on what I can control versus what I can't. And that's really what this book is about. It's the idea that chaos will always exist, suffering will always exist, and what to do about it to live a better life, that your life is better and those around you are enjoying a better life as well. So that one is really important for me, is to compare myself to where I was yesterday, not to the people who I think are more successful, who do have the things that I want in life, that I'm just not there yet. So I have to take the steps in between where I am now to where I want to be and compare where I was yesterday to see if I'm making progress. And the next one, the last one I'll talk about real quick, is to tell the truth, or at least don't lie. That's rule number 8. And for me, most of my life, I've lived in the gray area of truth. If you're not really happy with who you are or where you're at in your life, that lying becomes second nature, or deception, or using, or not being totally honest with yourself or those around you. And that can be extremely painful. And Jordan Peterson talks about in the book how, when you say something deceitful or you lied, you feel a physiological response. And that he decided he didn't want to feel that anymore. And I've taken that route as well. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel worse. I want to feel better. And when we use deception, we think in that short term, we'll feel better. But in the long term, truth feels better than a lie. Because the truth stings a little bit when maybe you have to admit something that you're embarrassed to, or because you tell the truth about how you feel and another person rejects you, which I have experience with, of course. Everybody does, right? But when you lie to yourself and you lie to others. That lie, it's corrosive, and it corrodes inside you, and it causes so much more pain to live in a fantasy or to portray yourself as somebody you're not to others. That lie will always cause more damage to you, more damage to the people around you, and it prevents you from becoming who you could be instead of trying to be somebody that you're not. And that's something I've been really working with as well. And just recently, telling the truth, there's a this girl that she's my friend. She's been my friend a long time. And I told her recently that I had feelings for her beyond friendship. I think this is kind of a common thing, right? And I'll never forget her response. It's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. We're sitting in my car. We just gone out to dinner. We come back to her place, and I told her that I had feelings for her beyond just being friends. And I can still see the look on her face. And what she said was, "Oh no." So as you can tell probably by her response, how she feels uh, about being more than friends. Needless to say, she does not. But what this did was so powerful. When you have kind of that collision between truth and reality, it can do two things. It can destroy you and set you back really far, or it can propel you forward. And that's what it did for me. It hurt, of course, stung. There were a couple days that were pretty tough, but it's so much better to know where you stand in life than it is not to, or to pretend it's something that it's not. And I think it's going to deepen our friendship actually because of this. And the reason why I bring that up is that by telling the truth, it stung, but I'm able to move forward, and it really brought me back to where I was as a human being and where I wanted to be in life. I'm not where I want to be financially or physically, so there's health issues, there's financial, deals as well that I'm working out and making progress on. But as far as the dominance hierarchy goes, as far as men go, I feel like I'm pretty far down the line on that. But by implementing rules, the 12 rules for life, I feel like I'm moving forward in all areas of my life, and I'm really excited about that. So I want to thank Peterson for writing this book, and I hope this review is helpful. If it is, subscribe to this channel, like it, share it with friends, because that's what I want to do, is create a community of people who are out there trying to improve their life and finding ways that I've found helpful that have improved my life, and to share that with others. Again, this book, Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos, I highly recommend it. I wish I had this book when I was 11 years old. That would have been great. I'm 41 now, but the lessons are just as applicable to somebody in their 40s or 50s or 60s as they are to somebody who's just starting out in life. So I hope you guys will pick up the book and let me know if you've already read it, which rules that you've implemented in your life, what kind of reactions you've had, what kind of successes, what kind of setbacks that you've had by trying to create more order in your life as an antidote to chaos. So life is suffering. That's never going to change. There's always going to be chaos, but we can take steps each day to implement a little more order. And that's what I'm doing, and that's why I really recommend 12 Rules for Life, because I found that helpful. Thank you.